Hard work, real talk, no shortcuts. I'm Joseph Cabrera. This is American Operator. All right, team. We are here still in Colorado. We've been doing this Colorado series and it just kind of worked out this way. Great American state with two great Americans here right now, Ryan and Sean of 10th Mountain Whiskey. And I tell you what, man, kicking off this morning with being in the distillery, seeing how y'all do it, the way it smells. And for folks who doesn't get to see it very often, for folks maybe not even from this area, it reminds me of an old military team room, just the way y'all set up the whole thing. So good to have you both on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Man, well, I can't also think of something more American than just spirits, bourbon, making people feel good. And then y'all really, we're going to dig into how y'all have built really a brand around it, especially in the world. I think, Ryan, you said earlier today, did the world need another spirits company? And I think because of the brand, I think that's probably what's, carrying the way there. But I think before we kick off, would love to just see, give me a little bit about where y'all are from and then how the heck did y'all get together? With you, founding and owning and then being the masters still, how all the relationship come together?
Sure. Well, I'm from Texas originally. So that kind of hits home, I think, for a couple of you. And Sean's from California.
What part?
And
Riverside.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
The worst part of California.
the armpit of Cali. So we met here in Colorado a number of years ago, Sean, right?
Yeah. Moved here from Riverside. My dad was in the Air Force, so moved around a ton. But I was in Riverside for about 15 years before I moved here. So now this is home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You came out for the skiing or no?
Actually, I had a friend who had moved out here. I was trying to get rid of all my school debt, and he had told me he saved $5,000, and so I came out. His parents were still paying his bills. I didn't realize his parents were still paying his insurance, his rent, his car payment.
That helps.
So that's how he saved $5,000. But I paid off my debt. Sooner or later, I started bartending and I paid off my debt, and I just stayed. I loved it. I loved it here so much.
It's kind of got that draw. Now, how did you both get together? What was the story there that connected you both together?
Well, yeah, he was bartending and then I was bartending as well, and then I'll let him take it from there.
Yeah. He was bartending at a really great restaurant with a roommate of mine, and I was working at a sports bar, and they all used to come in there to watch games or after softball or whatever. And that's just how we met. And then throughout the years, we just see each other, and then he started going into business for himself, and I would still see him at the bars I was working at, and he'd always be with these older gentlemen, and I was always like, what's he doing? And I asked him one time, and he said, I'm just picking all these guys' brains, trying to learn more and more. And then he came into one of the restaurants and he was with an older guy, but he ran over to the bar and he said, can I take you to breakfast tomorrow? And I was like, I'm not busy right now. What? You can talk to me right now. No. I need to talk to you. And we met the next morning for breakfast, and he told me that was his idea, was to start a distillery. And first he wanted me to run the tasting room because I'd been bartending in the Valley for so long. I knew so many people. I was trying to get out of bartending at that age, and I was just like, God, you guys are going to kill it. But no, I don't think so. And he was like, what about running the distillery? I said, I have no idea how to do that whatsoever, but I'll try. And he said he was going to Moonshine University in Louisville, and that he would send me, and he did, and now he's stuck with me.
What did you see in him that made you go, I think this guy's got the stuff that's going to be the fulcrum of my business?
Yeah, I think just being around town for years and years, and just the grit that it would take to get something off the ground. I underestimated the amount of grit that it would take between he and I both to get this thing off the ground. But and obviously he's got hospitality in his bones as well, and willing to learn something new is a big key factor. Being curious. Obviously, he knew the spirit side and pouring drinks and making cocktails and that side of things. But obviously, manufacturing is a hell of a lot different business. And so, I think I don't think either one of us knew exactly what we were getting into at the time, but here we are. So
yeah, man. Hey, y'all! Quick break. Here at American Operator, we believe that small business is the backbone of this country. But more and more, Main Street's getting swallowed up by big corporations, Wall Street, or some of them are just shutting down. And if you've ever thought about building something of your own, or just being a part of saving the American dream, head on over to AmericanOperator.com. It's your one-stop shop for inspiration, stories, and you'll get to join this really great community of patriots that believe our country is still worth fighting for. All right, back to the show. Talk to me about how y'all just individually, like maybe before we get into the making spirits part here and how 10th Mountain and the day-to-day, what was life growing up like just for each individual? Texas, Cali, were y'all outdoors folks? Was this something that even, grazed your spirits? Just curious, like what was that life like?
I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid.
Okay.
I had a lemonade stand on steroids, like not just lemonade, but candy and fireworks and
nobody told you to do it. You just were like, "Hey,"
it just was in me.
Yeah.
My parents are both entrepreneurs as well.
Okay.
In one aspect or another, and so, but they didn't push it on me at all. But I just had entrepreneurship in my bones. As teenage years, I would get on a bike and 5 a.m, go comb the golf course ponds for golf balls and clean them up, and then sell them that same day to the golfers coming in to play on Saturday mornings, that kind of thing when I was, 11, 12, 13. And I always just was trying out different things, just different ways to make money, doing odds. I was a candy man in junior high school. my
selling chocolate bars and stuff?
Yeah, my locker was full of candy and not books, is what it came down to. And so candy was illegal in the old junior high school, and so I was the candy man with all the good candy that kids would come to. And so I knew how to buy wholesale and sell retail at an early age, and so that's always been part of my life, certainly growing up.
Yeah. And you, Sean, entrepreneurial, or you had a different way you ticked?
Absolutely not. All I did was play. It was just Little League and football and basketball all the time. It changed a little. I lived in Arkansas right before California, and that was just, you would literally leave the house in the morning, you didn't come home until the street lights came on.
Yeah.
You were just playing the whole time. And it wasn't really like that in California. Everything was kind of organized, and you had to pay to play, kind of. But when I came out here, I was just trying to figure things out. I was a history major in college. That's what I got my degree in. I didn't want to teach. And I was just like, okay, I'll come. I knew somebody who lived out here for a year, a guy I went to high school with. And we knew it was fun and all that. And then I just started bartending, and the money was so good. And I just kept doing it. And I kept looking for something else. I looked at real estate. I looked at different things, but nothing seemed interesting to me. So this was kind of a lifeline, honestly. At the age I was at, and when he came and talked to me about that, I was like, maybe this is it. And honestly, it's still fun to me every day. We've been doing this
12 years now.
12 years now.
Yeah.
And there's always something different that comes up. There's always something different that you have to deal with, and that's fun to me. There is a repetitiveness to the job. And that can wear on you, but I don't know. Like I said, there's always something different that we're dealing with that, to me, still makes it fun to this day.
Yeah, the art of it all, even just seeing y'all hand labeling things and stuff like that. I know this is a small piece of probably what you're referencing, but I imagine that keeps it interesting day to day. Now, Sean or Ryan, you were in hospitality before this, right? Like this was not, and having a business here in town this wasn't your first venture. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came to be, what you were doing before you kind of got into making bourbon, making
distillation
booze?
side of things, right? First moved to town and started bartending around town, and did that for 4 years at a couple different locations. And what Sean alluded to earlier was a restaurant called Sweet Basil, where I was bartending with his roommate at the time. And then had an opportunity to take over a restaurant space in 2002 in West Vail, and so took that over basically at the same time I was applying to grad school to JD and MBA degrees. So I was close to going back to get a degree in something else. And then I had an opportunity to start the restaurant, and was like, well, I'm just going to stay here and do that with two of my buddies. Not sure if it's going to work out or not, but 23 years later with that, I guess it's working out. So
yeah. What kind of restaurant?
It's a casual American comfort food, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yeah.
Really well known for our breakfast and Bloody Marys and whatnot. So
that's awesome. What was it a hit right off the bat, or did it take?
It took a couple years to pick up some speed. We had some kinks to work out early on as well. We all came from the restaurant background, and we all thought we kind of knew what we were doing. But it's a little different when you actually own it yourself, and you get presented with different challenges and obstacles. And so it took a couple years for us to hit our stride. So
yeah.
And then with those two guys, we bought and sold a couple other restaurants, and then was again watching what the craft distillery movement was doing, and was ready to give it a shot and reached out to Sean and went out to Moonshine U. And so here we are now. So yeah.
Talk to me about y'all both went to Moonshine U. Tell me, okay, for folks who don't know what that is, what is that? And why was that? It seems like such an important beginning parts of this story. Why?
You want it?
Definitely. He went and he came back and he told me there's so much information there. And like I said, I had no idea how to make anything. You talk to different distributors when you're managing bars and stuff, and they'll give you little hints here and there, or, you know, their selling points or whatever about things. And you're like, okay, all right. But then I went there and it was only a 5-day course. It was unbelievable how much information. They have so many people from the industry right there that come in just from all these amazing distilleries that come in to give you their knowledge. But they start with how to get your funding, and they go through all the laws, and there was just so much.
Oh, it's down to that. It's not just how do you go make booze. It's how do you even be in
class
business.
work in the morning, and then in the afternoon we would do one aspect of cooking, distilling, and everything. So I mean, it was very overwhelming, and there was a couple guys there that already had really good information or, you know, knowledge, and they were asking questions way above our heads. You know, it was just like, what?
They were just showing off.
Yeah, totally. It was like, what are these guys even talking about? And but there was so much, and you can go back to them anytime. So they're a great resource for us, you know, going forward. But as soon as I got home, I just started reading everything and watching everything because they gave me a beginning point, you know. And like I said, I still talk to one of our instructors there.
Yeah, it's some of the relationships that are built at and that we got introduced to. Some of the people there is probably the most valuable thing.
Yeah, the networking piece of it, exactly, and how you build this. Yeah. For folks who maybe don't, and I want to get into the weeds on it, but just as kind of since you mentioned it, for folks who don't understand kind of the industry from the outside looking in, it probably isn't it strikes me as not an easy thing to get into. Like, you want to go make your small batch at home, sure, you know, share it with some friends, but you want to do it for a living. It seems like you got to know people as much as you got to know how to make good stuff, right?
Yeah, well, that's part of it, and certainly doing above the table and all the paperwork that goes along with it, and just all the intricacies of it on a daily basis. People ask me if I'm on the still daily. I'm like, no, and they're like, well, what do you do? I'm like, well, accounting and legal and marketing and everything else that goes along with it, managing the 2 tasting rooms, but Sean's on the still on a daily basis. So I mean, without Sean, there's not me, and I think without me, there's not Sean either. So it certainly takes both of us and the other dozen people or so that have full-time jobs with us too. So
no, it's quite an operation. So you go to Moonshine U, you get back, and then y'all are like, all right, what's the next step? Like, how do you get started with this thing?
I remember the day we're sitting around looking at catalogs. We're like, well, we're going to make XYZ spirits. What kind of we got to put them in a bottle. Like, how do you choose a bottle? So we just started flipping through bottle catalogs. I like that one. That one seems cool. And flip some more. I like that one. That one seems all right. Like, I guess this is how you do it. Who knows, right? And same, I guess we got to put some corks or some kind of closures on these things. And like, all right, well, I think that cork's kind of cool. Let's try that one. So let's start get these samples in and holding them. And like, yeah, this one's cool. I'm like, all right, well, we got to put a brand on it and graphic design and whatnot. And so at that time, we were thinking about using a graphic design company that had done a lot of great work for different companies within the business, or there was another local graphic design company that was started by a guy that grew up here in town, and he knew the culture of the 10th Mountain, and he's a big skier and mountaineer, and he gets the area, and I'm like, well, let's give this guy a shot. And he's done some great work with a number of different companies since as well. And so we used him, 970 Designs, a little shout out to them. And so I was like, Slade, I got this idea. We have the Silhouette Soldier. I got the mountain backgrounds. And so we just started working with a graphic design company with the different bottles that we chose. And it just all starts coming together. And then you pick a design and then we went to liquor stores and put them on the liquor store shelf and stood back 10 feet. Like, does our bottle stand out well enough amongst the crowd?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you're getting down to those fine details.
Yeah, absolutely right. And in the same breath, behind on the back bars, if you're sitting down in a bar stool, the back bar is going to be 8-10 feet away, roughly, something like that. Does our bottle stand out well enough? And we're like, nah, let's tweak something here. Go back to the graphic design company and let's tweak something here. So that's how it comes together.
Yeah. Sean?
That was such a big deal because the first summer that we were hoping to pour, Government things kept us from being able to pour as early as we thought we would. And we were at the Vail Farmers Market, which gets thousands of people every Sunday. People were buying our stuff like crazy because they did such a good job with the logo, with just everything that we did was selling. Every shirt that we did, every sticker we did, it just looked so clean and so cool that, I mean, that was huge.
For a while, people didn't think we're coming out with spirits, right?
Exactly.
Totally.
I used to work that Vail Farmers Market, and guys would come up as distributors and give me their card. I'm like, you haven't even tasted it yet. They were like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You guys know what you're doing.
Wow, man.
Just from the look of
Well, so
our
as a
stuff.
guy who makes the stuff, you're also, what I'm hearing you say, it's also equally as important as how you make people feel before they even taste the stuff, right?
No doubt.
That's funny because you don't. I imagine there's a lot of folks that probably feel very strong one way or another, and kind of going back to the statement I think you made earlier, Ryan, just like it takes both things to work well. Otherwise, because as soon as doesn't matter how good that stuff tastes in there, if you can't get someone to even buy the thing or ask for it, good luck.
Yeah, and it's something that we say is you drink with your eyes first, right? If the bottle doesn't look good, then you're not going to pick it up off the shelf, bring it home. But if it's a cool looking bottle, all right, you might drink it once, and then if the flavor's good, you're going to buy it again. So the brand sells it once, the flavor sells it twice.
Yeah.
So
what were the stuff in the early days, just for folks who don't know? I mean, I think folks generally get an idea that this is probably a fairly restrictive business. It's not like you can just start, selling baked cookies, the next day. What are the hoops you have to jump through that even allow you to even start doing this?
Yeah, it's good and bad in both the barriers to entry into the distilling industry. One, there's a ton of licensing. I'm fingerprinted from a federal level, state level, local level, 2 different tasting rooms. So
you're not getting away with anything.
And I'm not getting away with anything. And then the licensing here in Colorado, you can have a license to distill. You can also have a license to distribute. You can have a license for tasting rooms, and we have 2 tasting rooms. So there's 4 licenses. You have to have a license and the main license is the Distilled Spirits Production License, DSP license. And that's the national one that allows you to actually make the spirits above the table. And then each state that you go in and have distribution in, they have their own set of rules, and oftentimes you get licensed in those states as well. It's just all the fun continues depending on what market you're in. So
when you say above the table, just for folks who don't know, what does that mean?
Yeah, with the moonshiner, they call it moonshiners that are out there. I mean, we have one of our spirits is an unaged whiskey called Colorado Clear Mountain Moonshine. It's just a good alliteration, rolls off the tongue well. But moonshiners is a slang term that basically describes an untaxed spirit. So
okay,
the guys in the backwoods down by the creek, if you will, that are making their spirits, and they make it, and it's always unaged product because they don't want to age it and keep that product on them because there's risk involved when you're not being taxed, and so they would just want to make it and sell it as quick as possible. So it's technically an untaxed spirit, and that's under the table.
Okay.
So maybe someone has a cousin out there that knows what we're talking about. So it's never them by any means.
Yeah.
Although on occasion, it happens maybe once a year that a local will come into the distillery and be like, "Hey, I got a little something I made at home. Can we share it with you guys when you guys want to try it and tell me if it's any good or not?" We're like, "Hell yeah, bring it in, man." So it's a lot of fun.
I just happen to have 50 other barrels too.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, totally,
what's going on there?
And so the barriers to entry are large, obviously, distilling equipment. You can get into it on a smaller level. The level that we're into it now is a 500-gallon batch system, and all that comes with a cost. We have 100% copper combination pot column still from Vendome. That costs a pretty penny. It looks pretty, and it's great. It produces great spirits.
Yeah.
But certainly some of the cost to entry can be high as well.
What is that still that you have in there? Is that a workhorse that'll go the distance?
It's going to outlive Sean and I and everyone.
Oh, is that
here.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of maintenance to these things, or not too bad? Really? They just go, huh?
Still, no.
Everything else is finicky and breaks down, but the still's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mill, the cooker, all those different things. But
Yeah.
still, yeah, no problem.
It's going, man.
Yeah.
So talk to me about it's a hard business, high barrier to entry. Why even do this? It probably seems like a lot of other ways to make money.
Joseph. Good question, man. Good question. There is a lot of fun to it. It is fun. It's important for Sean and I. We use it as a platform to support a number of different military nonprofits. That's important for us. Some of our friends these days, I couldn't imagine 12 years ago saying I'd be friends with XYZ person. So there's certainly a lot of fun around it all as well. But Sean and I talk on occasion about knowing now, if we knew back then what we do now, would we do it again? And I think we would, but maybe, I don't know. We put a lot of effort into it early on. Our business plan was solid, but it's certainly a question in the back of our mind. But it's still important to us. We believe in what we're doing. The product's good, the spirit's good. What we stand for is something that we're proud to stand for it. And so I think that's why we continue to do it on a daily basis. It's more than just making spirits and getting people drunk. It's more important to use it as to support the different military nonprofits, and that camaraderie and that brotherhood that we were speaking about earlier is what it's all about. So
yeah.
When you all think about kind of the early days of starting the business, you got that mission, you got this goal. Were there days though that you just kind of in the early days that you go like, "What the heck we just do, man?" This
it's about once a week still.
Oh, okay.
Joseph,
Early days.
Excruciating.
What are you talking about last week?
Give me some of those, what I'm curious about is like, give me some of those, what were those moments of friction and maybe doubt? And then how the heck did you get through it? Like, why keep going?
Well, the way I get through it, and I've talked to Sean about this, it's been a while since I've mentioned it, but I always tell our team that, our hardest days with the job doesn't compare to the hardest days of what some of our men and women of the United States military have gone through. You know that more than anybody. And so it's something that, all right, man, today sucks. Yeah, we got punched in the face, and we're black and blue from the day, and today sucked. But think back to a couple of our friends that are double amputees above the knee, right? His day was worse than ours by a long shot, right? And so that puts it in perspective. We can get up tomorrow and get at it again. We're going to be all right. If these guys can get through what they've gone through, you're damn right we're going to be able to ourselves. So that keeps us going.
Yeah. Same, you trying to kind of feel the same way?
It was tough. The first few years. We didn't have heat down at the distillery for a winter. We didn't have bathrooms.
Oh, it was chilly, man.
Because there was construction going on. So there was always... So there were hard times. It was hard to keep that, keep that focus on everything. But yeah, exactly what he said. Absolutely. I mean, our focus is always not completely on that, but we're doing something bigger than just making liquor. And the things that he does, the things that he spends so much time on with the military and with vets and everything, makes this company different. And that's why I'm so happy to still be a part of it.
Well, that's a good segue into like 10th Mountain. Why 10th Mountain? There's a lot of incredible units out there in the military. 10th Mountain obviously has something special, not only with this part of the world, but just kind of not this part of the U.S., but also just in general of what they did. Can you give us just a history lesson? You kind of gave me I could spend 3 hours with y'all just talking about it back at the distillery. But why 10th Mountain? What's it mean to y'all out here?
Yeah, well, the 10th is one of the most historic military divisions today. They originated just a few miles south of Vail in the 1940s as a mountain warfare specific Army division. In World War II, the government realized that there was a good chance that we were going to be in conflict in the mountains, and that we should have a specific unit trained for mountain warfare. And so they looked all over the country for different spots to put a training base in, and they landed on Camp Hale for a number of different reasons. It's a beautiful spot. It got a hell of a lot of snow back in the 40s. It still does. And for a number of different reasons, it was the ideal location. And so they spent 2.5 years at Camp Hale training for mountain warfare, snowshoeing, skiing, rock climbing, cold weather survival, all that stuff. They were almost to a point in the war where they were not going to get deployed, and they thought that this was all just not going to happen. They ended up getting shipped down to Camp Swift, Texas, of all things, in your backyard down there.
Yeah, man.
So mountain warfare.
Lots of mountains going on.
Yeah, exactly, right? You know the area. A lot of guys were talking about why the hell are we going to Texas? We're supposed to be a mountain unit. some guys started getting shipped off to different units, and finally they got the call to be deployed, and they landed in kind of Midwest Italy, and then hiked up north and were given the challenge of breaking through the Gothic line. And the Battle of Riva Ridge is one of the most significant battles and a game changer in World War II. And when the Nazis surrendered, they requested, this specific group requested to surrender to the 10th Mountain because they were their most formidable opponent, and they respected the 10th Mountain so much. And so when the 10th came back from Italy and fighting in World War II, they wanted to share the mountains and the outdoor lifestyle and the sport of skiing with all their friends and family, and in essence started the modern day ski industry as we know today, and the outdoor lifestyle industry. And 60 plus or minus different ski resorts were started by 10th Mountain vets. And of course, Vail Mountain is one of those. And so there's a lot of 10th Mountain history in our backyard. And without them, the sport of skiing and the outdoor lifestyle, we wouldn't be doing what we love to do, playing in the mountains, skiing, mountain biking, hiking, everything we love to do here without the 10th, just bottom line. We wouldn't be doing it. Some of the guys in the 10th also went on to form other companies. Pletzel Climbing Gear is one of those, very well-known climbing company.
Oh, yeah.
Nike, the shoe company, was founded by a 10th Mountain vet, so Bill Bowerman, and was Phil Knight's track coach at University of Oregon. But before his coaching days at Oregon, he was in the 10th, the National Outdoor Leadership School, the Knowles Experience, started by a 10th Mountain vet. Outward Bound was brought over to the U.S. by a 10th Mountain vet. So, and then just these guys were entrepreneurs, and they worked their tail off. But then at the end of the day, they loved to sit back and have a glass of whiskey too, and they were known to partake a little bit as well. So
yeah,
and so all those reasons really, and so they were deactivated for a number of years, and they were reactivated in the mid '80s in upstate New York at Fort Drum, and they've been the most active military division over the last 30 years. And going all over the world. So for all those reasons is why we decided to name the company in honor of the 10th Mountain.
Yeah. I love it, man. You're bringing back memories at the academy when you go pick your first job coming out. You know, it's all by class rank, and you're going to got patches all over the world, and literally by class rank, you go up there and you pick where you're going to go, and it's a riot. It's just everybody you can hoot and holler, you can imagine, you know. 10th Mountain's one of the last ones to get picked because people know how hard you have to be to go up. It is a hard place and a hard unit, storied history, you know, but there's a level of pride with the kind of harsh, tough folks that come out of that unit for sure. So cool to see. So in your all's mind, you couldn't think of a better brand to build it around than the 10th Mountain. And what's interesting, just my kind of outside looking in opinion, I never thought about it this way until I saw it on y'all's bottle, but it's especially as an Army guy myself, it's one that you just kind of universally resonate with. I don't know why. I suppose if you picked another unit, it might be a little hard for me to get my head around. Yeah. But the way y'all did it, for some reason, maybe it's because of World War II, I don't know, something about that just makes it universal. Do you find that it resonate with vets right away, or did that take a little time for it to catch? No,
it resonates right away, I think, for sure. And being such a big unit, 15,000 soldiers up at Drum right now, and there's also another, they're at Fort Polk, Louisiana too, right?
Yeah.
So go figure. Go figure.
Yeah, that little ode to Swift, Texas, I guess. Yeah,
that too, right? And so if you're in the Army for 4 years, if you didn't go through 10th Mountain, sure enough, you know someone that has, right? And so the unit is recognized across the board. And respected, like you said.
Yeah, and respected,
right.
Absolutely.
If you went through there, you know you did something.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Cross swords and a mountain tab, man, you know it, yeah. Actually, my first commander was a 10th Mountain guy, and so there's a bit of confidence that comes with knowing that where these guys kind of grow up, you know, as they took over. We joke that even though I think the guys and gals based in Alaska are pretty tough as well, we always kind of look over at the 10th Mountain guys and go, just a little bit. Yeah, there's a little more misery over there. Just a little more misery. Yeah, exactly. Because it's cold for a long, long time up there, man.
Right. They wear that misery on their sleeve. They're proud of it. So,
man. Tell me about, I guess, just thinking about the Vail Valley, and now that y'all have lived here, this is your locals now. This is home. I'll admit, coming into this part of the country, I never expected so much patriotism. Not even just American patriotism, but really like ingrained in that military culture. Has it always been that way, or is it something that's happened as of recent, or is it because of y'all? I'm just curious, because I think for me, when you think kind of ski town or whatever, you kind of think luxury, sure, they're patriotic, but, they're not going to have, I mean, heck, I've been into several places just being here for a short amount of time, and it feels like you're at some team room down in Texas. I mean, it's just people really prideful about that heritage. Has that always been the case?
Well, that's great to hear. What do you think, Sean?
I wouldn't say that I noticed that a lot, when I first lived out here. I would say it kind of coincided with our starting. I don't know if that's completely the case, but I feel like it has ramped up since we, become a company and become a presence in this valley.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think 25 years ago when I first moved here, 27 years ago, it was as prideful with the military. I think maybe over the last 10 to 15 years, it has headed in the right direction for a number of reasons. Vail Veterans Program has 20 plus years under their belt, and they're a well-known nonprofit in town that
amazing.
They're incredible. Mm-hmm. Chris Anthony and his movie that he did all around the 10th called Mission Mount Mangart has certainly put the spotlight on things. Vail Resorts in the town of Vail has started doing 10th Mountain Legacy weekends in February and a couple other weekends throughout the wintertime, honoring the 10th Mountain and sharing the culture and the heritage and the history with our visitors. They started doing that 7-8 years ago, something like that. And so the community is leaning in to the history of the 10th Mountain and the influence of the 10th on the area more and more now. And I think we might play a small part in that, but it's certainly something that is more and more than it used to be in the past.
Just put it in mind of people maybe weren't thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's made a difference.
Right.
Honestly, yeah.
Yep.
Well, you sure as heck got Blackhawks and stuff flying around here too. So, if you weren't into it, I mean, you guys got the full get up. Why are they out here training? I mean, I kind of know, but just for the folks who don't know.
Right. It's funny. Most people don't realize why they see Blackhawks going up and down the Vail Valley almost on a daily basis. Certainly at the distillery, we're 5 minutes away from the Eagle Airport, and the Blackhawks and the Chinooks are flying around as well. They're coming out of the HATS training facility, and HATS is an acronym that stands for the High Altitude Aviation Training Site.
Yeah.
And they teach our helicopter pilots from around the country to fly in altitude, and then also friendly helicopter pilots from around the world. Bring them in for different training weeks and programs. And then usually after their program's done, they'll come in and hang out with us, which is a lot of fun. So those guys are great. And
Saw the barrel.
Oh yeah. No, it's really cool that y'all honor just kind of a lot of different organizations out there. Has that been that case for a while? Them training out this way?
Yeah, it sure has. Ever since we've been around, I forget when they first started. That'd be a good fact to know.
When we started the tasting room in Gypsum, almost as soon as we started there, they were there. So
you hear them flying up and down.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost every day I've heard at least one coming by.
The hills out in Gypsum are very similar to Afghanistan.
Yes. You know what, Sean? I'm glad you brought that up because I was just thinking, for folks who don't have an awareness of it, flying at altitude, for the aviators out there, they probably get it. But I can tell you, just being riding in the back of these helicopters overseas, man, flying around the mountain's a whole thing, man. I mean, it's because you're also trading fuel and ammo, and you're trading weight and how many guys you can bring in at a time. Because at altitude, it's unforgiving.
Up and down.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down. The Chinooks do the best just because they're kind of the workhorse out there. But man, it's quite the thing. So cool to see that we have that there. Do you get the pilots ever stopping into y'all's places?
Yeah, almost on a weekly basis. Yeah, definitely. And they've held some of their balls there and dinners there, and so it's something. It's a really fun relationship that we have with them.
Oh man, you all have someone, and you also have a relationship with quite a bit of Texas Ranger memorabilia around. And when I'm not talking about the baseball team,
exactly.
The silver belly,
Always.
The silver belly wearing cowboy hat, Texas Rangers out. Tell us a little bit about just kind of how that all came to be.
Yeah, that came to be. My brother-in-law was an Army Ranger, and then worked his way up through the system in Texas and became a Texas Ranger 7 years ago or so. And they celebrated their 200-year anniversary in 2023. And their organization is 7 years older than the actual state of Texas, which is an interesting fact. So, and so they asked us if we could put something together for one of their auctions. And we put together, we donated a barrel of whiskey, went around the community, and again, alluding to the community support of of organizations, first responders, and military. Vail Resorts donated some lift tickets. Nova Guides donated some snowmobile trips around Camp Hale. Local hotel, the Hyatt/the Marriott, donated a couple nights. So we put together a whole package that was auctioned off at their gala, big celebration of 200 years. And the gentleman that won it came up here and distilled with us. Had a great time around town for a couple of days, and so he's in it aged for 7 years. He's going to come back in 5 years from now, which will be 7, and we're going to bottle it together, and then he's going to take it all back and give it out to some of his friends around the state of Texas for Texas's 200-year anniversary. So that's why you see some of the Texas Ranger memorabilia around.
Killer, y'all had that flag in there, an original Texas Ranger flag with 2 bullet holes going right through it, man. Yeah, unreal.
Yeah,
the memorabilia y'all get in there is world class, man.
Yeah, it's something that I think takes us by surprise every time we get a new piece in. We're like, check this piece out, man. This is incredible, right? And so there's a lot of cool things that we get to talk about. Yeah.
Well, like one of those original maps of the Battle of Mogadishu. Like all these things are just. So glad y'all got it. It's almost like this speakeasy in the mountains, man, because it's cool to see.
We don't ask for it. I mean,
they just send it, huh?
Yeah, they want to give it to us after they've been with us. Usually, like he said, the gentleman from Texas, he just liked what we were doing and he was impressed with it, and he sent all this stuff up to us, and we couldn't believe it. We were blown away.
It says a lot about y'all, then, man. If people want, guys like me don't part with that stuff,
right?
Very easily. So the fact that they're hanging it up at y'all's place means you've earned it.
Well, it means a lot to us, and we get to talk about it and put it on display and educate people that come through our doors about the importance of each piece and what's going on with it. So we're really humbled by it and really proud to be able to display it and talk about it. So
yeah, it's cool, man. So let's go back to booze for a second, or go back to spirits. I'm looking at these bottles right now. Y'all have a ton of them out here. 7, right? I think it's 7 different.
Spirits total, yeah.
Bourbon was the first one? Or was it ish?
Yeah.
To just kind of run me through the 2 dominating questions I have on my brain right now is where did it start, and then why all these? It almost seems like it's making it more complex. Right. Maybe just kind of add me, like why not just do 1? Or maybe 2, not 7. Just give me whatever you got.
Good question, right? Good question. Maybe we'll scale back a little bit after this. I doubt it.
Yeah. Where did it start? Which are the ones that you said?
Well, since day one, we hang our hat on our whiskey expressions. We want to be known as a whiskey distillery first and foremost.
Yeah.
Our bourbon's our best seller. Our rye whiskey's our most awarded. We released our American single malt about 3 years ago now, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so that's our 3 aged whiskeys. We have another aged spirit, which is our brandy, which is made with Pinot Noir wine from Monterey Valley, California. We'll touch on that, how that came about here in a second. But and all of those 4 spirits have to be aged in a barrel, right? What everyone thinks about at a whiskey distillery. You have the big 53-gallon barrels. They're cool, they're neat, they're sexy, right? But and they're aging whiskey for some amount of time. To make a bourbon, one of the requirements, a lot of people think you have to age it for 2 years, for 4 years, for 6 years, whatever it is. But the age requirement for bourbon specifically has to be aged for some amount of time in an oak barrel. So
American oak.
Yeah,
American oak barrel.
The vodka and the moonshine. The moonshine is technically a whiskey, but it's an unaged whiskey, and we use the term moonshine. It's Colorado Clear Mountain Moonshine, so it's a good alliteration, but it's technically in the whiskey category of unaged whiskey. To be an unaged whiskey, it has to be at least 80% corn, and ours is 100% corn. So that's the only grain in the mash bill. Then we have potato vodka, which when Sean and I were both in Moonshine University, they're like, we know you guys want to hang your hat on the whiskey expressions, but vodka is 35% of the overall spirit market. Are you sure you want to ignore that? And we said, we do not. Most vodkas are grain-based vodkas. My favorite vodka at the time was a potato vodka. I don't know about Sean, what you were drinking vodka-wise. If you were drinking vodka, you're not right. Yeah. So I'm like, if we're going to make vodka, it's going to be a potato vodka to kind of differentiate ourselves from all the grain vodka on the shelf. And so that gives us a lot of flexibility with cocktails and infusions at the tasting room. It's still a good seller of ours. I really love it. People, vodka drinkers are way into it. So I'm glad we did it.
Yeah. Is it a kind of way to also offset with guests? Like husband and wife show up.
100%.
Guys like bourbon, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
And
the wife's like, no. I'm like, well, come on.
Unless if you're my wife, Kelsey loves bourbon, man. But I can see it gives you options.
Yeah,
for people
exactly.
to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, that's what I first heard was the reason was for ladies in the Vail Valley tasting room.
Yeah.
That we needed to have vodka for them.
How does it make it like operationally? Kind of take me through, like, how do you do that? I mean, I was there today, and I'm thinking to myself, man, it's a lot of work, and you're not just like, it doesn't seem like you're cooking really. You're not just switching a widget out. How's that all go?
It's focused on, so each different spirit has different mash bills, different recipes, and we focus on one spirit for a couple weeks at a time, right? For this week, we're doing bourbon. For next week, we're doing rye, et cetera, right? So we're not making all 7 spirits every day by any means. At different times of year. The brandy, so we haven't talked about the brandy. The brandy came along. I had a buddy through the Vail Veterans Program. He was going through that, and he and I became fast friends, and he ended up getting a job at a vineyard in Monterey Valley, California. And he and his boss called me up and said that they had 3,500 gallons of Pinot Noir wine left over one year. Do you guys want it? I talked to Sean, and I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
Never met a person who bought a bottle of brandy in my life.
Yeah. And nor me neither.
Yeah, I asked him,
me too,
you ever
right?
bought a bottle of brandy? No.
Nope.
It's kind of a European thing.
Yeah.
But I asked my buddy, I was like, how much does 3,500 gallons cost? He's like, we're just going to give it to you, man. I'm like, well, in that case, send it on out. Let's see what we can do. So, again, we leaned on Moonshine University. We called them. And then talked to another friend that had a brandy-specific distillery in the Northwest.
Jason up in Portland.
Yeah. And sure enough, he distilled it, and we lighted down our ex-bourbon cask for a minimum of 2 years. And it got recognized as one of the top 3 brandies in the country by USA Today, which is kind of fun.
That's fun as heck, man.
But just, if you look back in our business plan, brandy was not mentioned once at all. So
brandy comes in, that stops everything, because it takes up when we get that truck in, it takes up every container we have.
Oh, is that right? It's the most laborious one?
No, not necessarily.
No, well, yeah, it actually is.
Okay. Not what you were thinking of.
No, yeah.
But when we did 3,500 gallons the first time. The next batch was 5,000 or 5,500.
Yeah.
And so what Sean's alluding to is we got to find places to put 5,000 gallons of wine.
We don't have tanks that size anywhere. So, yeah, we filled up everything that we have, and until that's all gone, the whole place just smells like an after party. I mean, it just smells like stale wine, because that's what it is. And it takes longer on the still. Yeah. Each run takes closer to, instead of 9 to 10 hours, it takes closer to 16 to 18 hours. So it's just a long, long process. But like he said, we got a lot of good knowledge from people in the industry that helped us out, which is part of the industry that maybe you haven't heard about. People are very helpful.
Oh, they want to pitch in and see. Yeah, really?
Even other distilleries.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
Because
what we learned at Moonshine University. I mean, they were saying it, hey, we just asked that you help everyone. And I was like, yeah, right. Everybody's competing. We called people, in our early weeks and months, and everybody called me back. Everybody called me back and answered my questions. Presidents of companies, head distillers at places, everybody helped me. And when anytime anybody calls us, we do the same thing. If we don't have the answer, we try to get them in touch with somebody that can help them. It was amazing.
Everyone's fighting the same battles out there, and we all realize it. And so everyone's quite supportive of one another.
Yeah, and well, I imagine it being so daggone hard, I guess you just kind of bond that way too, just knowing what it is. For Sean, like what's the hardest part of the process in general, when it comes to,
honestly, bottling. But
is that right?
Yeah, bottling it's the time consumer. It never ends. It's that job of, like, talking about ladies in the old days that always had to just be, sewing or crocheting or whatever.
Because it's all done by hand. I mean, that's the other thing folks don't understand. Y'all doing everything by hand.
It just never goes away. It needs to be done hours every day while we're doing the cooking, while we're doing the distilling. During the downtimes, we have got to be going over to the bottling and getting that done. This is all, it sounds crazy, but it's just like you said, it's a recipe, it's ingredients, and it's time. It's on a much bigger scale, but you're just waiting for temperatures to go up, putting in different ingredients, waiting for temperatures to go down, putting in different possibly enzymes or something. I mean, it's literally just like a giant recipe with 1,000 pounds of grain and 300 gallons of water.
Yeah.
But it's the same exact way you would make a recipe at home, honestly.
Just over and over and over.
Yeah.
What's the one that you feel like, if bourbon's the best seller, what would you say is the sleeper? The one that y'all personally think, hey, it's actually really punches above its weight class, but maybe doesn't get the love?
Cordial.
Cordial? Which one is that one? Is that little bottle?
The Sage Peach
I see
Vanilla.
the smirks here like.
The Sage Peach Vanilla Cordial. And the reason I say that is because the cordial category is quite small. A lot of people might know what Grand Marnier or Tuaca is, and that's kind of the same category. But if you walk into a big box liquor store, and their cordial section is going to be about 4 foot wide, where their whiskey section, their bourbon section is going to be an aisle or two. Right. Their whiskey sections is going to be 3 or 4 aisles combined, comparatively. And so cordials are a bit harder to sell just because people don't gravitate towards it naturally. But at our tasting rooms, when we have a chance to have people taste it and enjoy it, introduce it to them that way, then they're buying a bottle or 2 or 3 bottles right then and there. When we do tastings at liquor stores, that's when it moves well. When we're at events and doing tastings with people, that's when it moves well.
Something different.
It's something different. Yeah.
How would you describe it to somebody? I mean, how do you drink it? And
it's great neat on its own. It's great mixed with our rye whiskey, what makes a great cocktail.
Oh, really? You mix it together?
Yeah, we can do that tonight.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's make that happen. That's awesome.
And the sweetness.
Yeah, it's great in coffees or in hot chocolates. It's great.
We have restaurants in Vail that made a sauce out of it.
The Four Seasons was using it in a sauce for a while.
Wow.
Places were just pouring it over their homemade vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you can go. There's a lot of use cases I didn't even think about.
Yeah,
but
exactly. It's great in iced tea in the summertime in Texas.
Yeah.
It's a great little addition to an iced tea. So
y'all have it always, cordials? What's that?
I said specifically for you.
Oh yeah, specifically. Are these things always available, or do you kind of have some of them that are like seasonal and pop them up?
These 7 spirits are always available, unless we run short on our bottles or something. Right. But they're always available. We do some barrel finishes with our whiskeys on occasion, where there's limited releases of those. A maple syrup finish cask of some sort. We have a couple different mash bills lined down that we're experimenting with that we'll release here. And so there's a couple, on occasion, there's some whiskeys that are limited, but overall, these 7 spirits are dailies. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, I look forward to tasting more of them. I'd like to just switch gears for a sec here and kind of, you both strike me just naturally programmed to work hard and build stuff and get things moving. Obviously building your American dream here. I know maybe initially it didn't start off that way, or maybe it did. But I'm just curious.
Nightmares are dreams too, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, buddy, careful. If you're like, living the dream, I'm like, yeah, sometimes nightmares are dreams too.
Yes, nightmares too. What about that now, kind of looking back on it, like what about that makes you most proud of what y'all have built so far over the last 12 years?
I think it's the support that we can give back to the United States military is the most proud thing.
Yeah.
And for me, it was being part of something that his vision, which included the military and the valley and everything, but being part of something, working at restaurants for so long, you're just a cog in the machine. I don't feel like that. I haven't felt like that for 12 years, and I still don't. I feel like I'm part of this and that it's going somewhere and that it means something. And it's a whole different feeling, going to work every day. Like I don't dread work. I like going to work, and not a lot of people can say that.
Did you think that was going to come in the form of you probably never worked harder in your life though either, right? I imagine.
Yeah, no, right.
Yeah. What is that, y'all? I'm always curious when I listen and talk to entrepreneurs, folks that operate and own something. Man, they are hardworking folks, but man, they just seem like happy warriors doing it. Maybe not every day, but generally speaking, versus the person who might strictly work a 9 to 5, but there's something that seems like their soul, something about it's missing. It's something that doesn't feel like it's
firing. There's
firing.
this saying I like out there that kind of encompasses this is I quit my 40-hour week job so I can go work 80 hours a week for myself.
Yeah.
So that kind of summarizes that, right?
Is it that agency then? Is the fact that like, hey, this is at least mine, even if it is coming at the sake of a lot more time than I used to spend on something?
Yeah, I'd say probably so.
Yeah,
definitely. Hell, no one's going to do it for you, right? And so it's on our shoulders. And so if it's going to get done, it starts with us. So
yeah. How about you, Sean? Same thing?
Yeah. I mean, this is Ryan's company, but I do feel a sense of agency completely. He has given me that freedom. He's not down there all the time, looking over my shoulder or anything. I make decisions. I have to check with him on, tons of things. I'm not going to go above what I'm allowed to do, but I feel like, hey, this is my thing almost as much as his,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And again, the distillation side and managing the distillery, Sean's got that. And I know Sean's got it. The distillery's in good hands with Sean.
Yeah.
I don't worry about that at all. But there's so many more moving pieces to this business. We could sit there and make whiskey all day long, but we don't get, paychecks and bills don't get paid if we don't sell it, if we don't have distribution, if we don't have the tasting rooms dialed in, right? And so there's a lot to it for sure. So
how do y'all pick? I mean, when y'all are bringing on teammates, what are the things you think about? Making sure they got the right stuff. What are the things you look for?
Patriotism.
Okay, really? Yeah. Like you got to bleed red, white, and blue.
Yep, absolutely. And it'll come up in conversation. I'll direct some. I won't ask specifically, but certainly direct some questions to allude to that fact and make sure they check that box.
Is it just because it's so core to the brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't fake that.
Yeah, we can teach everything else, right? Most everything else, but and it depends on what position we're hiring for as well. But everyone within the company is quite patriotic, and is aligned with our vision and what we're doing. So that's first and foremost. So
I don't know that I've seen very many job descriptions with that on there as a core part of the culture, but it makes a ton of sense for what y'all are trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not going to last long with us, because it's what we do on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, I can't
and the
think of
different
something
events
more
that we do,
American.
and we're again back to the Vail Veterans Program. We have a big event with them tomorrow.
Is that golf? What is that? Tell me about that. What is that?
Yeah, they do an annual golf tournament fundraiser.
Okay.
At one of the local golf courses, and the hats, the guys they'll fly Black Hawk in, landed at the driving range, and do a big opening ceremony. It's a really cool event that they have going on. So, and we're always doing different events around military organizations. And so, if you're not patriotic, then this business is not going to fly with you.
That's going to be tough, man. Tell me as we're kind of closing out here, tell me about some of those things that maybe we didn't get a chance to talk about that y'all support and why you find it important to do so.
Yeah, again, here in our backyard is the Colorado Veterans Program, and then a couple other ones around the state of Colorado Veterans Project really comes to mind. Houses for Warriors as well down in Denver. Nationwide, again, we've worked with a number with the 10th Foundation and 10th Descendants Program, and they do a lot of stuff up at Fort Drum. Shepherd's Men down in Atlanta does a lot of stuff with TBI and PTS treatments. Organization out of Coronado called the C4 Foundation is close to us, and we could sit here and list off another 50 of them.
It's a lot.
So
how do you decide what you give and how you do it?
And a lot of, so we'll support organizations on a number of different levels. Sometimes it's just product donation. Sometimes it's supporting an event that we're going out to personally. Sometimes it's a financial donation, not often as much as we'd like, but again, we're a growing company and we got to feed the beast as well. Otherwise none of this works. So, and there's something, all these organizations have a Form 990. So you can vet them and you can ask for that Form 990. You can see where they're spending their money. Which is something a lot of people aren't aware of. But if a nonprofit of any sort reaches out to you and asks for support, all you have to do is ask for Form 990, and they'll give it to you. And sometimes the organizations that are a bit more organized will have it on their website. And so it's just so you can vet them a little bit more and see where they're spending your money and see if it's a group that you want to support. And so if it's a group that we're not familiar with and don't have a personal connection with, we'll ask for Form 990. And at this point, a lot of our friends are veterans that have been there, done that, and been through a number of different organizations. And if it's something that we're kind of on the cusp about, we'll reach out to a friend and be like, "Hey, do you know anything about this organization?
Yeah,
what's this about?" And so a couple different ways we'll do some background checks on them.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's important. Kind of, they're very big and small, and so the things. But it sounds to me that y'all are always kind of willing to pitch in and help and support where you can. As we close out here, gents, man, it's been good just picking your brain. I know we'll get plenty more chances to do it. I'm stoked to get the community together this evening and be able to share it at y'all's tasting room down there in Vail Village. What's the daydream? What do you hope this looks like 10 years from now? Maybe even further. If you can think
What's
that
your
far
daydream?
out.
Build that rack house.
Oh, is that the extension? You're running out of room.
We're hoping. Yeah, exactly.
It's 99% designed. I've got to call tomorrow morning at 9:00 with our builders.
It's tough to move around in there with all those barrels.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to open up another, get another line of production in there and just keep going. I mean, I love what we're doing. I don't have an end goal in sight. I don't see some finite thing where, we have to get to this, anything like that. I mean, as long as we keep doing what we're doing and we're happy with what we're doing and people are happy with us, which they are, I'm happy and I just want to keep going.
You're into the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Ryan, how about you?
Yeah, and that rack house, it's going to hold another 1,400 barrels or something.
Yeah.
So then the barrels inside our current rack house where we do the distillation as well, that'll free up some space in there. And then possibly down the line add another still or two for Sean to play with as well. So that could come online here in the next couple of years. But the rack house is 99% designed, but a couple more final pieces we got to put in place. Then hopefully, I've been saying this for a couple of years now, that we'll get it out of the ground next spring. So we'll see.
You got to beat the winter, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't. It's up here. There's not a whole lot of construction going on November to April.
Yeah.
So, but then again, just growing it market by market, state by state, and I think maybe somewhere down the line, if Sean and I had kids, it would be our grandkids that would see this as a national brand. But certainly, our goal is to build this into a national brand. And that's going to give us some more flexibility to support the organizations that we're proud to support, and at the same time. And so it's just, but each state is a different beast in itself. Each market's a different beast. It's getting the consumer in those states to care about it as much as the consumers here in our backyard care about it, because they know the brand, they know what we're all about, and communicating that to consumers across the country is challenging, and it takes time. But that's 10 years from now. Hopefully, we're in a couple more markets and doing well.
Well, I'm no doubt
the more people we can help.
Yeah.
All the different.
Exactly. So
I can see that. If people are going to go pick up a bottle right now, what states can they pick them up in?
yeah, that's a good question, right?
Other than driving out here to Vail and just
we
grabbing a
prefer
bottle.
if you came out here and hung out with us at our
trust me, it's
tasting
not
rooms.
disappointing. Yeah, you would not be disappointed.
First
It's awesome.
and foremost, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Here in our backyard across the entire state of Colorado, and in select locations around Texas. We're in Wyoming. We're in Missouri. We're in New York. Certainly not in Manhattan. We don't want to play that game. That's another beast. But in upstate New York and a couple of the surrounding areas as well. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, a couple other markets. And then online at 10thwhiskey.com. We can't sell direct ourselves because of antiquated liquor laws. But we have a third-party middleman that ships on our behalf.
Okay.
Out of Washington, D.C. But you can go to 10thwhiskey.com and get it there too.
So anybody can pick it up a bottle if they want to.
And we
that.
can ship to 45 states. There's a couple states that still doesn't allow alcohol to be shipped into those states, but 45 states certainly can ship to. So.
Yeah. Do you have do y'all have a code name for what if someone was going to order all 7 bottles or whatever? Reason I asked, we had some gentlemen on yesterday and they called it the barbecue guys there at Moe's, they called it, we sometimes if people come in and they just need a family pack, we just ask them, do you want a double wide or a triple wide? And I'm like, I've never heard that in my life. I don't know if there's any slang here, but
no, there's not. But if you buy all 7, there's a discount. So
so
there's that.
That's important. Yeah, that's about as important as it gets, man.
But no, I got to think of a name for that. You tell us, give us a good military name for that.
Yeah, no, we'll go.
Give you some homework.
Maybe just call it going Winchester. That's the old term they used to use in the military when we used to go fight in the mountains and stuff, and the Apache or Kiowa pilots were coming through and shooting. And after this, boys just got done out of ammo. They used to call on the radio, and they go, hey, boys, we're Winchester. Good luck. And then they head back out. Some of them would stick around. They got a little extra fuel just to keep eyes out for us.
Yeah.
You go Winchester pretty fast in the mountains, man.
Right.
Yeah, those guys. So maybe there's something in there that you can kind of go, but it just means I'm clean out of ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's that. But anyway, gentlemen, really, thank you all. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Again, I can't think of very many things more American than what you guys do. It's so ingrained in our culture. I'm a permanent 10th Mountain fan now for a long time. I mean, even without knowing y'all, look at the thing. It's like, whatever y'all picked in that catalog made a ton of sense.
Right.
So anyway, thanks for all you do. And from one vet to a group of guys here that I know support it. really just appreciate you kind of holding that group up. I think there's a lot of countries out there that don't think of us the same, think of their military the same way. And I think for a lot of folks who may or may not know, it's really cool to be a veteran in the United States of America, just because there's something about that level of citizenship that we kind of see from the citizens in our country. It's a two-way street. We're fighting so that we can come back and go get a bottle of 10th Mountain anytime we want in this great town called Vail or Eagle or wherever we're at in Texas. And vice versa. I know you all believe the same thing. You wouldn't be able to do what you do without the guys and gals out there on the line. So it's a firm handshake both ways.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you both.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the American Operator Podcast, where we celebrate the backbone of America, small business owners and operators like you. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss out on more of these stories and insights from people who keep our community strong. Until next time, keep building, keep operating, and keep America moving forward.